let's talk some general agency compliance now. Let's be really serious about why we're talking general agency compliance. There's two reasons. One, so you're providing good customer service. If you're compliant, odds on that the service you are providing to your customer is transparent, it's positive, it values where they sit as your client, and secondly, you're meeting the requirements of the legislation, therefore you are compliant in relation to fair trading's requirements of you being an agent. And fair trading are back out doing inspections of agencies. Had a number of calls from agents around the Foster area this week. So clearly, fair trading are up around Foster having a look around. Now, fair trading don't have a problem saying where they're going to be because they're in the process of they want to come into your office and find that you are compliant. So it's not about scaring you or catching you out, or it's just they will tell people quite openly when they are going to be in certain areas. So guys, make sure you're ready. We're not in lockdown. It doesn't look like we're going to be in lockdown again. Fingers crossed. Look, and I just want to go through what I see as the 10 major points of compliance as fair trading walk through your door, as you should be checking this, as being part of what you do in your agency. Check your signage on your front door is correct. Section 29 of the Act requires specific information for you to have on your front door. Make sure that your business cards and your marketing are correct so that it is very transparent about who the agent is. If the agent is using a name that is not their legal name, then make sure that what's being presented to the public is very transparent and clear, and that relates to Section 30 of the Property and Stock Agents Act. All of this comes back to compliance with the legislation. Then there's a number of sections of the Act that make sure that your licenses and certificates, making sure that they're current, making sure that you have the correct licenses, the correct category of license, the correct class of license to be doing what you're doing within your agency. And that relates to Section 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of the Act, all in terms of the licensing requirements around all of that, which rolls us into CPD. Yay, CPD! I think there's 104 days left until your CPD needs to be done. We've got a counter on our website now. You're just counting down that time. After Christmas, it's going to be well under 100, and that roll down to the deadline of 22nd of March. Make sure that every person within your office is meeting their CPD requirements. Assistant agents do their 3 units of competency towards their licensing qualification. Class 2 agents do 6 hours of CPD. Class 1 agents do 9 hours of CPD. Real simple. That's all got to be done by the 22nd of March next year. You need to have a policy and procedures manual. That's the 5th point on my 10-point check. You need to have supervision guidelines. You need to meet those requirements of the supervision guidelines. Your sales files need to be compliant. Your property management files need to be compliant. Have a checklist of what needs to be in those. Check that everything is in there. Check that your agency agreements are correct. Check that in the sales file for a residential property that you have the 10.7 zoning certificate and the sewerage diagrams and the contractors there before you start marketing. Real simple stuff like that. Copies in property management files that you've done an ingoing inspection report, that it's been returned from the tenant, that you've got evidence of the condition reports and routine inspections that you're doing. That takes us down to number 8. Number 9, make sure that your trust account transactions are well and truly, that you have evidence that the correct authorities are beginning. So the licensee in charge for the trust account, and you can have different licensees in charge of different trust accounts. So one, you have that structure correctly, and then secondly, that you are complying with that authority that is required for that. And my 10th point on my checklist of what you need to is making sure that your professional indemnity insurance, 1 is current and 2 is of the correct level. And Section 22 of the Act notes that agents must hold professional indemnity insurance, and it actually says that it needs to be 1 million for any one claim and not less than 3 million in the aggregate. Now, so many agents have got the 1 million but not the 3 for the aggregate, or they might have 2 in any one claim. Doesn't, it's got to be the 1 and the 3 as minimums. So make sure you get that right. So look, that's a real, just a quick start on what you need to make sure is correct within your agency. If you want to talk that through more, then give us a call. Then and any one of the trainers can talk you through the supervision guidelines and the policies and what you actually need to have to be compliant within your agency. One, for good service, and two, to make sure that you're not the subject of a penalty infringement notice that comes along with that.